Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone around the world. This is The Experiment, and I'm your host, Joe Soro. And tonight we will be talking LA Laker basketball. We might throw in a few Dodger comments right now. They're doing pretty well. Still waiting on. I'm kind of behind on the game. Had to DVR it when I was doing the previous show with LFB. So Dodgers are up, but I haven't had a chance to see what was going on in San Francisco versus San Diego. But hopefully the Padres can muster a win. It might be over by now. I don't even know yet. But if they could, that would likely mean the Dodgers get into first place tonight. So we'll be monitoring that as we go. However, tonight is basketball night. We are going to talk a lot about the LA Lakers, the game tomorrow. And of course, is there a chance that tomorrow we may see LeBron James play his last game of his career? It's kind of an odd question, isn't it? I got a lot of eyebrows lifting up. Some people were saying, no, absolutely not. Some people start thinking, what if it's a blowout? What if it's blah, blah, blah? I don't know. Well, that's good. Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it, brother. So, Dodgers are up 9-1. Padres are up 7-4, which means if those scores stay the way they are, the Dodgers will be in first place by tonight. So, indeed, we will be very happy. Well, it's right before May. That's before May. Jeff, didn't you say middle of May? Middle of May. Nah, that was going to take too long. Hopefully, the Dodgers can go into May, sustain it, win the division by, I don't know, July. And then after that, just start getting these arms ready, man. I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't know what they feed these pitchers in LA, but Jesus Christ, Glasnow, get your shit together. Snell, I don't know if this is a phantom IL stint. I don't know if Triton is an phantom IL stint, but come on, guys. Can you give us at least something? Yeah, I did say you said middle of May, Jeff. Congratulations on that, bud. Right now, I'm trying to think. I said initially early in the year that LeBron has the kind of personality that is going to want a kind of a walk off year. So the the hope this summer, the hope this summer is if the Lakers do indeed go out here tomorrow, and even if they go out in Game 6 or Game 7 of the first round, or let's say they lose in the second round, whatever. Let's say they make it even to the. Let's say they come back and win it in 7 here, and then they go to the Western Conference Finals. Either way, minus a championship. What are the Lakers going to do with LeBron if he wants to sign another 1+1? So what he would need to do is he would need to get the contract that he has now voided, which he has the power to do that, and then he can become a free agent, or the management says, LeBron, we love what you've done for the team. You're going to have your jersey up in the rafters, and I don't know if he's going to get a statue. I don't think one is going to be enough for as long as he's been here. At least that's what I think. And we're gonna want you to pick up the contract, and we're not going to extend it. And I think that's probably the smartest move you can do, because 2026 needs to be likely LeBron's last season. There are circumstances that could change that. I think they could put maybe a clause in there, or just kind of a handshake deal where they tell LeBron, look, we're going to let you play out this last season. If they win the championship next year, maybe they'll be willing to do another 1-year contract. I that's kind of where I sit, and I think the Lakers should make that happen. I think they should make it right away. They've always taken care of stars, and they've taken care of LeBron tenfold. They've drafted his son, for God's sakes. They've given him a lot of money. They've given him a lot of power in the team. February 1st was the first time I believe that they did not include LeBron. Again, I don't know the backgrounds of this, but I'm guessing that LeBron didn't know about what was going on, and I think the Lakers saw an opportunity and went ahead and took advantage of it. So I think that's some of the stuff that we're going to talk in depth more tonight, and we'll get a chance to see what you guys think on if that's a good deal, if that's a smart deal for the Lakers. I think there's no other way to look at this. The Lakers have to get ready to start building around Luka. Luka is the future. Luka is the present. Luka is the man right now, even above LeBron in my book. They have to start going that way. Otherwise, they kind of waste time and waste years for no reason. Luka is about to hit his prime, somewhat in his prime already, but I don't want to chance it. I think there's a definite 5-year window right now. Should they be able to put something together this summer and allow Luka to be the captain of this team? Someone had made a good point today. They had said, and it's been said before, but I wanted to make sure they got credit for it. They told me, Joe, it doesn't look like it's a good friend of mine. You don't know him, but he's a huge Laker fan. Been following Lakers for 25 years. You know, he's tapped into the culture of the Lakers. Obviously, he said it just looks like LeBron doesn't want to give up the one seat, and I don't think I disagree. It shows in the end of games. Why is Luka not getting the ball? Why is Luka not the main focus in getting him the ball late in the games? It always seems to be LeBron, either inbounding the ball or at least attempting to, or he's the guy with the ball. Now, I don't mind that. I don't mind him getting the ball at the top of the three-point line. Let's say there's 10 seconds left and he wants to go to the basket and draw a double team, draw a center, draw whatever, and then kick it out to Luka when he's open or something like that. But we don't see that. We have not seen that. And I don't understand why JJ won't do it. Is he scared of LeBron? Is he scared of losing LeBron? What difference does it make? You're in the playoffs. You have to win. If LeBron gets pissy about not getting the ball at the end of the game, which is kind of puzzling to me because it always seemed like he's trying to avoid that, right? So we've had this issue. We've had this issue for so long. I don't even know what to do anymore. I don't even know what to say. But if there's a close game again tomorrow, are you going to get the ball to Luka Doncic, who has the clutch gene? That's going to be the question again. And I'm going to address it. If it's a close game, if the Lakers are down 1 or tied with 10 seconds left, 15 seconds left, 23 seconds left, and they have the ball to either win the game or somehow try to win the game either through a tie or being down 1, JJ, you're going to have to start putting the ball in Luka's hands, and that's it. There is no other solution at this point because LeBron has shown that he cannot hit. He cannot get that damn ball. I think he's 2 of 30 or 2 of 31 since he's been a Laker in these last second shots. It's not good. It's not good, and there needs to be a change there. There needs to be this Jesus moment or something where JJ calls in LeBron in his office and tells him, listen, I'm going to roll with Luka from now on all possessions at the end of games. And that's it. And then help him create the space that he needs to hit the shot. I have yet to see a shot attempt at the end of a game with the clock going down. That needs to stop. That needs to change. And if that means losing LeBron, that means this might be his last game, last series, last year, whatever. So be it. Because I'm not about stat padding. I don't give 2 shits about stat padding. I don't care how many points he has. I don't care how many rebounds he has in his career. That means nothing. At this point, LeBron looks like he's going to be playing his 22nd season, completing his 22nd season, and he'll only have 4 championships to show for it. Am I greedy? Is that greedy? Is that unfair? 4? Greatest of all time? Only 4 out of 22? I don't know about that, guys. Kareem had 6 out of 20. Jordan, if you count just his Bulls stint, he played essentially 13 3/4 for the Bulls, won 6. Magic played 12, won 5. Kobe won 5, playing 20. I mean, I don't want to go into I don't want to go to the percentages of that, but too many duds in that illustrious career that he's had, and I don't have the patience anymore for it, especially now that they have Luka. Let's get the ball rolling, baby. Let's get it going. Let LeBron play out his last year next year. Try to get this team in a position to acquire some talent here this summer, and then even if they don't win it next year, hey, you're on your way. Especially if he retires after 2026, you now have some money to go out and get maybe one or two crucial, important players. Maybe one massive superstar, but we're not going to know unless there's a commitment to it. And I think that's something that needs to happen. I think that needs to be discussed thoroughly. Let's see. No look past. Joe, how confident are you that we can win 3 in a row? I need hope. No look. I'm not really confident in them winning 3 in a row, unfortunately. I would have to see how they come out tomorrow, but even if they do come out tomorrow and let's say they blow them out, game 6 is going to be the key. And even if they come back from 7, it's going to be taxed. It's going to be a taxed team going into the next round. That's a problem. That's a problem that we were worried about. We talked about a lot on Lakers Fast Break, and I'm going to be talking about now. There is just not enough talent on this team. There's too much age in LeBron to go seven games in the first round and then expect him to go in the second and third and in the finals and be fresh. That's a problem. And as far as Luka's concerned, Luka is young enough to probably handle it, to get DFSs, because this is a fairly young team. I think the team can handle it. But the pressure of dealing with this also is a factor. I think Austin's getting a lot of flack. I think he's struggling with the athleticism. Is something that he's had issues with the last few years as well in playoffs. He's being kind of exploited on the athletic side, which the best third option in the league. This is part of the narrative that continues to just erode common sense. We love Austin Reeves. I hope he stays, but he was never the third best option. Most teams don't have a third option, so it doesn't matter. Most of them are like 3-1, 3-2s, or 3As, 3Bs, 3Cs. There's the third option is rare in the NBA right now. It's rare unless it's on a bad team like Phoenix with a washed out player. So blaming Austin Reeves for things he can't do, I don't know what to tell you. I just don't know. I don't know what else to tell you. That he is who he is. If you guys want him to be Will Chamberlain, it's not going to happen. You want him to be Larry Bird, making every shot, swerving in and out of the lane like he was in the regular season. That shit don't happen in the playoffs, guys, especially when you have guys that are focused on your team for 7 games and they have athletes on the team. Let's see here. If Lakers win 3 in a row, Ant-Man should just retire. That's a good one, bud. Let's see. Assuming LBJ wanted to get traded, what's his trade value? Oh boy, I don't think he has any. I really don't. I don't know. I can't even think off the top of my head who would actually say, you know what, if we're a LeBron James in his 23rd year away from winning a championship. I don't think he has hardly any trade value, honestly, unless I don't know if there's any kind of stipulation in the CBA that I don't know about that they can buy out the contract, still pay him the money, and have him be able to be traded. I have no idea. I don't think he does have any, to be honest. Well. It looks like Mr. Gerald Glassford has arrived. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Were you guys talking about LeBron being traded?
So lifted was said what would his trade value be if he were to be available.
Okay.
And I just said I don't know if anybody is going to trade $50 million worth of contracts unless they're contracts they want to get rid of. Like Portland wants to get rid of $50 million of contracts and have LeBron for some kind of ticket sale type thing. That would be the only option I think in my head that would work. But I don't think LeBron would say yes, right? LeBron has got the trade clause, and he'd want to play to win. But I've discussed a little bit of the fact that I think it's time to tell LeBron that he should play out 2026. I think that's it. That's where I stand on it.
I don't think they're going to have that conversation, Joe. They're going to allow him to do what he wants. He still, as I've always said, he has full control over his situation. And the fact that he has a no trade clause in his contract, even in the option year, is going to be case in point. And even if he opts out of that to sign a deal that's either more cap friendly or if it's just add on another year, that's also going to have a no trade clause on it. I think you guys are stressing out, over something that we have no control over. Rob is not going to have that conversation with them. And I just don't think that, he'll be here as long as he wants to be, whether he retires next year, retires this season, or retires after Bryce plays a year with him. We'll wait and
I'm
see
sorry,
how that happens.
I can't do this. This can't happen. I can't even imagine.
I get, we've
there's no
gone
way,
down this road before.
Yeah, no. This for sure cannot happen. There's no way. If it was AD on the team, still I could get it. They just want to sell tickets, whatever. This can't happen. This thing needs to switch now. It needs to switch this summer.
I'm not disagreeing with you,
Yeah.
but I didn't.
If they do that, they're basically wasting years for no reason. I don't. This LeBron cannot finish games, and LeBron hasn't been able to finish games for a while. This isn't just this year. It's from last year. It's the 2 years from 2 years ago. He missed the playoffs in 2022. They couldn't finish. He couldn't finish. I know AD got hurt, but that team went down the dumps as soon as AD went down. Like LeBron doesn't have. There was LeBron in 2016. In 2021, I could still see the Lakers beating Phoenix that year in the first round. They had at least a better chance at beating them, right?
Joe, I'm not trying to fight with you or disagree.
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the crowd when you ask that question.
Okay,
yeah.
but I'm just saying that LeBron.
Yeah, this Bryce and all that, like that can't. There's no way I can accept that. There's no way I believe in any way that's going to happen. This is over. Like this family matters thing is over. There's just no way. This trade February 1 had to have. I'm putting my foot down on this one. There's no way. They cannot waste time. This is Luka just turned 26. It's time to win championships again. I'm tired of this crap. I really am. I just don't want to hear it anymore. As far as Austin Reeves, prisoners of the moment again. As soon as he doesn't have the 30, 40-point games, everybody wants to trade Austin. Austin's everyone's whooping boy. Austin is the Max Muncy of this team. When Max Muncy's on, everyone loves him. When he's not, they want to throw him in the trash can and roll it down the river. So I don't know what's going to happen with Reeves. My thing is the man makes $14 million a year, and to do what he does, that's a hell of a bargain. Now, if you can use that to get someone considerably better, there's always going to be an acceptance there. I don't see any doubt.
I'm just seeing down the road, Joe. He is not going to be making $14 million after next season or thereabouts. He's going to be making $30 to $40 million on his next contract. It'll be the one big contract that he signs because he's 28 years old now. He has only got one contract he's going to be able to really sign to maximize his value. And his agents are already talking into his ear about it already, probably. I will say this again. At 30 to 40 million, he is not going to be the great value for what he brings back. So this summer is crucial for the Lakers to see what they can get in value for him and Rui before they have to go ahead and either let them go for nothing or pay them probably more than what they're worth.
The fact that it's a friendly contract as well is going to be very easy to put him in a trade. So there is a benefit there. And the fact that he's not making as much and he does have value, and there could be a team out there that says, "Ooh, we could use this guy for a run," just because he does come in at a very fair price, and we can kind of maybe use him for 1 year and see how it plays out, and then we can extend him if he lives up to the performance. I'm not worried about the Austin Reeves situation. I think that's an easy process should there need to be one so that the Lakers can improve the team.
But you can get multiple assets for those two guys. Multiple assets that I think can improve your depth, improve your roster at specific positions that you are weak on already.
It's the Lakers right now still need what I believe is a big man and a penetrating perimeter player. someone who can get to the basket. Those guys typically are expensive, but I it's gonna depend on the deal. I mean, we're gonna have a lot of time this summer, possibly this playoffs, if the Lakers lose, to discuss more details on what options could present itself, so it makes sense. What kind of trades that would work with Austin Reeves going out somewhere? Does that return a viable starting center who is going to at least protect the rim most of the time, and then obviously allow the team to have to spread out when they need to for Luka, so he can create. These are all details that we're going to have to go into once we do go in there, and I don't want to go into it now because this is about LeBron James possibly playing his last game tomorrow. Not likely, but you never know. You never know. Sometimes things change. Sometimes it's like, well, you know what? I'm done here. I think I've got other things. Maybe LeBron has something that kind of mimics what A-Rod did in Minnesota, and we didn't know about it, and he decides to go do that for a living. I don't know. I'm totally making this up. There aren't any rumors that I heard about that he was doing this, but we do know that he does want to be an owner at some point in his life, and maybe there's something there. But that's it. It's got to be some kind of transition at some point here. I don't know if LeBron cannot be the one guy on this team, because it's the only reason why they keep shading to him on these things, and it's not working, and it needs to be fixed. But I just don't see. It doesn't look like it's going to get fixed. So Juan asked, Joe, question, Kerr subs out Curry for Peyton with 2 minutes left for defensive purposes. Why can't JJ do that with Reeves and Vando? It's driving me crazy. That's a great question, Gerald. What's your answer to that?
Vando, don't include Vando in any of these conversations. Vando's awful. Vando, I would not trust down the stretch in any situation. I have zero confidence in Vando. I know Empire Jeff loves him. I know Jamie Sweet loves him. You and I, Joe, are not infatuated with him, and we're stuck with him for 4 years on that terrible contract. He is a nothing offensively and does not do enough defensively. There's only pockets in time where he gives you enough effort and to create chaos on occasion where it's really a benefit. But for the most part, as we've seen, Joe, he has been nullified in this year's playoffs, and it's 3 seasons in a row. He's gotten less effective, and less effective. I just don't think down the road, when you're talking about, you're saying sub Reeves for Vando in the clutch time when you need a bucket that maybe LeBron or Luka can't be able to give you. Reeves is supposed to also have those playmaking skills. Vando is not going to get you anything offensive. And I understand, lock down or try to put a good defender on, of course, Edwards or Randall. But, as we've seen, Joe, Vando has just not been able to go ahead and provide enough defensively to keep himself out there on the court. I mean, we've seen already. I mean, we've had sample sizes. Same thing with Hayes. Same thing with to an extent, Gabe Vincent, Jordan Goodwin. These guys have not done enough on either end of the court to justify continuously going to them at this point in time. The Lakers just don't have many viable options for the playoff run right now that are playing that well. Might happen in the next round if the Lakers are lucky enough to get there. But yeah, just at this point in time, Reeves for Vando in the clutch, I just don't see it because Vando's, like I said, Joe, if what's 30 seconds left and he's open underneath the basket, do you trust him to catch the ball to do so?
No, I do not. And
catching the ball.
That's a frustrating.
But remember, there's 2 sides of every coin, Juan. There's 2 sides of every court. He has to play on the other side. And that's the problem. Reeves is less of a problem on the defensive end than Vando is on the offensive end. Does that make sense, Joe? Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yes. It's sad commentary at this point where you have to worry about a 6'8" player with long arms not being able to catch the ball underneath the basket and dunk it. There's too much low IQ in the pressure moments That includes, and really the catalyst is LeBron James.
Well, Juan, you're saying like if it just put Reeves back in, you're counting on a dead ball each and every time out. If it's the last possession, it's the final possession on defense. Sure, you can put Vando in for that final possession, but if you're talking about with 3 minutes left, Joe, you're counting on a dead ball each and every time out to try and see if you can flip on offense, and it just doesn't work out that way.
No, it doesn't. I don't even know what. It was a good question, by the way, Juan. I don't even. I feel like I don't even want to think about that. I was like, okay, how do I argue for Gary Payton that he's better than Vando? Yeah, of course he is. I've seen Gary Payton hit 3-point shots on the regular when he's on, and I think he's a smarter basketball player in the end. And he's shown in the past in high pressure situations, 2022 to be exact, that he can come through. He's not a consistent player. He's not going to be a guy you can depend on year in, year out, 82 games out of the year. But the guy has his moments, and he's at least shown those moments in some of the biggest games you can play in the NBA. So it makes sense for Kerr to be able to use him. And this isn't necessarily a Kerr versus JJ thing. That's not the case, because JJ Redick, I believe, still has some handcuffs on him because of LeBron James. It's the only logical reason I can think of on why end of the game performances, end of the game execution isn't run through the clutchest player you have on the team. I don't understand that. And I don't believe anybody's asked him that question. Has anyone asked in the pressers on Sportsnet or KCal or any of those channels or 570 AM? Has anyone asked JJ, why haven't you run plays for Luka for the end of the game shots? It's almost like he just sets them aside. So he hardly ever gets the ball. I want to know why. I really, really want to know why. That's bad execution, bad decision making there. So my thing right now is you need to get the ball to Luka at the end of these games forever from now on. Stop using LeBron for anything other than maybe getting the ball on the inbound and getting it to Luka. Now that could mean a couple things. Again, drawing the defense as he's getting to the basket and hitting Luka if he's going to get double teamed to the point where he can't get to the basket comfortably. Get the ball to Luka and see if he can hit the shot. That has to happen from here on out. If they close that off, isn't that your job, JJ, to figure out how to not let that happen? That's just how I look at this. I mean, what's a good example? I mean, it's not necessarily a winning lottery ticket that you're too much of a wuss to go cash, but it's probably a tool in the garage that you refuse to use when you can get it done quicker if you do use that tool. But maybe you're stubborn. Maybe, it'll work this time with this particular wrench. No, it won't. Use technology at that point. Get the wrench that will work quicker, but you don't want to set it up because you're too lazy. I don't know. I'm trying to think of why. And I still haven't been able to figure it out logically in my head why this continues to be a dud for JJ. Just don't like it. And I feel like there needs to be a clean slate at this point. It's tiring. It's really, really tiring talking about it. Why isn't
your guy,
there?
Doomer's back.
What was that? What'd you say?
Your guy, Doomer's back. Hey, Doomer, we made a video, made a short on you. It's going to debut at midnight for everyone else on the Lakers Fast Break channel. But
I don't see him. Where is he?
Doomer
there he is.
Joe.
Who's more at fault, Luke or LeBron?
Who's more at fault, Luke or LeBron for last game? That's a good question, though. That is actually a good question. I'll give him a credit for that. Or is it fault of JJ?
I don't. It's a team loss. It was a team loss. Let's see here. Hold on one second. Let me catch up to some of your guys' comments here. Let's see. Juan again. Then you have Nas Reed posting up Reeves that killed us. Yeah, that didn't help either. Which home team playing in Game 5 will win, Rockets or Lakers? If I had to choose, I'd say the Lakers have a better chance. I think the Rockets are toast. Really toast. Let's see.
Oh, the
Okay, let's get to doing here. Okay, so
4 minutes
I
left, though. It
I
looks like
don't
they're going to lose.
I don't. What? Who made the crucial mistake in the end? Who couldn't inbound the ball at the worst time? It's not all his fault. It's not all of LeBron's fault, but that turnover is absolutely devastating. And it's an unforced turnover. That's Aaron Judge dropping a fly ball. That's the Yankees not being able to field a grounder. LeBron is playing like the New York Yankees were in the World Series last year. And what the opposition is likely doing is just put enough pressure, they'll screw up. Just put enough pressure. LeBron doesn't have his processing in his head doesn't necessarily work very well when it's under immense pressure. He's won titles. He's won in this league and had a great career because his genetics and his ability to play basketball is, in a lot of people's minds, second to none. But what separates him from the greats, like the really greats, to me, it's still Jordan, Kobe, 1 and 2, and then you got Kareem, and then you could even put Duncan in there a little bit. Bill Russell. I mean, these guys showed up at the end, and they won a lot of those close games. That's what defines you. That's what defines you in the end for me. Can you win when it matters? Really, really when it matters. He's won 4, and for a lot of people, that's enough. I remember I was talking about how Shaq won 4. Just so you guys know, I'm not discriminating against LeBron. I'll give you an example. Shaquille O'Neal played 19 years in the NBA, and he really only had 15 of those years where you could say, to some degree, 14 probably, if you want to be. I mean, 16 ideally, but 16. I'm gonna stick to 16. He was an amazing player for about 16 years. The last 3 years were terrible, and then of course the first. Would you say his last year of his prime was 05 or 06?
Yeah.
I think it was 05.
06. Okay.
Because he won a title in 06, but he was not as. I remember Alonzo Mourning played a lot of minutes in that finals that were actually more valuable than when Shaq was in there. Shaq's 05 season was his last as far as his prime. So 13 seasons counting from his rookie year till then. So 13 seasons. He won 4 titles in that span. Like, let's say that 14-year span. Gerald, do you think he should have won more? As dominant as he was?
I always think he should have won more.
Yeah. It's not fair to say that. Yes, it's a team game and all that. But Shaq had a problem with, it's not so much laziness, but he had a problem with focus, but in a different way. His was more losing interest, which would explain why he was swept so many times in his career. The last one being in 07 when he played for Miami before they jettisoned them out in 08 to Phoenix. We talked about his first year in the playoffs in 1994, got swept by Indiana, got swept by Michael in 95. I'm sorry, got swept by the Houston Rockets in the finals in 95. Got swept by Michael the following year in 96. 97, lost in 5 to the Jazz as a Laker. Then got swept again in 98. Got swept by the Spurs in 99. The most physically dominating player, even though that hadn't been technically all the way his peak, like it was in 2000 through 2005, maybe. Shaq should not be getting swept 5 times in the first 7 years of his career. And I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that he lost interest. He didn't want to fight back. It took Phil Jackson to coach him. It took a Kobe Bryant to be there and some really good veterans like Ron Harper, Rick Fox, and those guys to kind of get him out of that rut. But that should have been a Shaq thing that he didn't need anybody to do. LeBron is kind of the same way in that I believe he's left a lot on the table that I feel is a detriment to the overall aspect of his career. Now, we're mesmerized by the stats. We're mesmerized about how long he's been playing, but I'm about the substance. I'm not about the stuff that necessarily doesn't matter. No one cares that he's the all-time leading scorer unless they're LeBron fans. I don't care about that. I'm a Laker fan. I'm a team fan. I want championships. If LeBron is sitting at, let's say if LeBron is sitting at 2 championships with the Lakers during his stay, we're probably not having this conversation. If he has another championship in Miami, for sure you're not talking about this. 6 championships versus 4, that's a huge difference. Huge difference. And right now, when you take all that stuff aside, it's more about now the Lakers have given themselves an opening for the next run. And I believe they need to get on it immediately. And that will likely mean letting LeBron know that 2026 is his last year because this team needs to start putting the right players on this team so that those who don't understand what putting a team together for the right player, when you look at the teams that Magic had, the teams that Bird had, the teams that Jordan had, Duncan, Kobe, and Shaq. They didn't go find players for Shaq that played center or big. They found guys that could play defense. They found guys that could shoot when they're open. Because guess what? When Shaq would get the ball on the block, he would get double teamed. And guess what? Rick Fox would be open. D. Fish would be open. Kobe would be open. Ron Harper would be open. Glenn Rice would be open. That's how you cater to it, right? You look at Kobe a few years down the road. You have Kobe, who had Pau Gasol. He had Andrew Bynum, although Andrew Bynum was more of a starter and then kind of phased out during the game so that Lamar could be the power forward, right? The perfect team for Kobe and the triangle at that point. They allowed him to be the one and then use Pau Gasol in a way where he would be effective down on the block when Kobe was double teamed or was able to, again, get easy buckets. I see you're frowning. Did you read something?
Yeah, Alan says, and I quote, we love Alan here, but sometimes he says little things that are just kind of wrong. You're all worried about Luka's almost disregard for trying on defense, and I have to go ahead and push back on that. He has made efforts in this first round, Joe, on defense several times, helping out, playing post up. He's been posted up several times, block shots on more than one occasion. He has helped out on defense. He has been making efforts on defense. I understand the reputation that he has, and a lot of you guys have bought into that. So you guys are just saying that, the Lakers are losing, so he must not be playing defense. But if you're actually watching the game, you are seeing that he is making a better effort on the defensive end, whether out of necessity or what have you. He is making a better effort on the defensive end this first round than he has in any of the playoff rounds before. So
I'm going to clear this.
That does not hold water at all, Alan. Sorry.
I'm going to clear this up. The reason why most are saying this. Here we go with the
fitness again. Now the fitness, that's up to you to go ahead and evaluate. But yeah,
I don't know what I don't understand what you want this guy to do when he's got 2 guys on him at all times.
And playing 46 minutes.
What do you want him to do? The reason why you're saying he's not playing defense is because you've been fed that by either Nico Harrison, the media, and then the series he had in Boston. You're only regurgitating that because that's what you've heard. But if you watch the games, what do you want him to be? We've already explained this. He's not going to be Ron Artest. This team is not set up for his skill set. He has no bigs to distribute the ball to when he's penetrating. What do you want him to do? You remember in 1983 when the Lakers got swept by the Sixers? I know most of you weren't born yet. I was young, but I am an NBA historian, especially when it comes to the Lakers. They had to trade Norm Nixon at some point, right? It wasn't working. Or you can even go back to 82 when Paul Westhead had to be jettisoned because Magic was playing a half-court game, and he's a run and gun guy. So what do you want him to do? You're asking Luka to play a game that doesn't cater to his skill set. It's like putting Magic in a half-court offense. That's a stupid decision. You don't put Magic in a half-court offense. Well, you don't put Luka on a team that has an identical player like LeBron, who won't probably not allow himself to be the one, and then you don't have any bigs up front. And I'm not saying this was done on purpose. It is what it is. The Lakers jumped on a lottery ticket here, but you need time now to build through this. We had some hope. We saw some amazing team defense those first 2 weeks, but it was fool's gold. It was a after trade energy that we see all the time. When a coach gets fired, all of a sudden the team starts winning games out of the gate. But once things simmer down, the reality comes back, and that's what happened. The excitement went away. The energy on defense went away. But in reality, really what it is teams will adapt. Teams will adjust. And they definitely do it in the playoffs. And if you think you're going to keep harping on the fact that Luka isn't playing defense, I want to know how you know he's not trying his ass off to play defense. I just don't get it. And by the way, we're not talking about the defense when it comes to executing at the end of the games. We're talking about the inability to inbound the ball when it matters. We're talking about the inability to run a set that can clear an open shot or an open layup in some way. They look like they don't know what the hell they're doing at the end of games. And this was before Luka came with his bad defense. How are the Lakers playing when AD was the anchor and playing defense? How did that work out the last two playoff runs? One playoff win. Now what? Same exact result this year so far, right? The last two series that they played the last 2 years, one between Denver. Because I don't even look at the Memphis Golden State wins. I'm talking about the last two series. So I don't know if you're going to sit there and you guys are going to keep talking about this defensive problem because Nico put it in your brain that defense wins championships. Again, there's nothing we can do for you at that point. You're not going to listen to reason. You're not going to understand that the game right now is not set up for that guy. The team isn't set up for him yet. We'll see what happens. Let's see here. Let me get to some of your questions. Sorry, guys.
Oh, and Pale Fox, again, you start that stuff, you're not going to be able to finish it, and we'll just leave it at that.
They're not thinking championship this year. They're thinking, please, God, LeBron, don't pick up your player options so you can get a bunch of defenders to put around Luka. Doug Branson. Who's Doug Branson? I don't know who Doug Branson is. I'm sorry. Let me go back to second half. So what does that tell you?
Does he live in Missouri?
I don't know. The Lakers were up 10 going into fourth. Another thing to consider. We weren't talking about defense then, were we? I was born in 71, guys. I'm used to us winning with bigs, and now the small ball crap is frustrating to watch. It hate small ball. I hate the Warriors and old Suns for it. Ruined basketball. Ruining basketball is an interesting term. It's kind of similar to the arena football of the NFL up until the last few years. I've noticed the last few years there's been a little bit of catching up that the defenses have made with the aerial assaults. So I don't know what else Roger Goodell can do to destroy defenses, but I'm hoping that he doesn't. I hope he keeps doing what he's doing. Just let it go now. They've adjusted. Just let it go. I don't want to. I don't think you can do anymore. Looking at the quarterback will cause a problem. I don't think that would be something you want to do. If Steph wins another title to LeBron, does Curry become the best player of his era? No, JY. Steph Curry will never be better than LeBron James. Never. Greatest shooter of all time, but he'll never be a better player than LeBron James. And I'll take that to the bank, even on Saturdays and Sundays.
I told you that there's some people that think Steph is the greatest of all time.
That's fine. You can think that all you want. It's wrong. That one is a definite wrong.
I didn't say I did, but I told you the story earlier today.
Yeah, I'm just telling you to tell them they're wrong.
It's
that one is not even an argument.
It's a Gen X, Gen Z thing. The younger audiences think
that's why I don't
like Steph, LeBron.
Generally, I don't pay attention to Gen Zs when they talk about anything from the past because they don't know. They weren't there. They didn't listen. They didn't see anything. They just know what they know now. Let's see. Jeff, why do you keep telling me what's going on in the Dodger game? I'm trying to, watch it later. Thanks, bud. Small ball is fine. Just need other options. Where are we here? So, what's the score of the Giants game? Are they done? I'm asking the question that I'm looking.
Yeah, I know, it's funny.
Hold on. Okay, so I said Game 5 winner of the Nuggets Clippers likely wins the title. Shit, Oilers scored.
It's Nuggets because they just walked off again. They couldn't handle Murray. Murray went off for 43, I think.
Padres won. It looks like the Dodgers will be in first place tonight. Congratulations, Jeff. I hope you're happy. I know you'll be roasting everybody in San Diego tonight, even though they won. Hey. Don't call me a meathead. Call me Mr. Meathead. There you go. I'm getting crazy over here all of a sudden. Coming from the guy who literally gives me play-by-play via text while I'm at work. How the hell am I going to know you're at work? Hey, you got to tell me too, man, if you don't want me to text you. You jive turkey. Hey, Jeff, when was the last time you got your ass whooped? I know where you live, right? Jamal Murray, 43 points. They just beat the Clippers. Yeah, I wasn't expecting a blowout, but I just think it was interesting how Kawhi Leonard all of a sudden became God after they won that last game. I'm like, can you guys let the series finish first? This is what these guys do. Oh, is Kawhi Leonard the modern day Jordan?
Wasn't tonight.
Oh man. Wait, hold on. Hey man, I thought you were a baller, man. I thought you had made your own hours. I didn't know. I work during the day. I work at night. I work in the morning. Sometimes, whatever. I thought you had a open schedule. Sorry. Okay, let's see here. Last. Okay, so you got your ass whooped by your wife. That doesn't count. You let that happen. Come on. Let's not talk crazy here. Can't hit back. Of course you can't hit back. That's why it doesn't count. Jamal Murray was like Kobe out there with his mid-range. God, the mid-range used to come back, man. Nope, Clips were not feeling it all. Well, I mean, the Clips just they are what they are, man. What did Harden do tonight? Did he just
Harden,
fold like he always does?
yeah, today he did.
What do you
Yes,
have?
he had 11.
Oh my God!
You know who the big guy was? I'm not going to say it because you guys say I'm such a mark for him, but
Well, what? It
you know
doesn't matter
who?
if he's big. The team got destroyed, so stats don't mean shit.
27.
Oh my God, 27 and it didn't mean anything.
Yeah, he outplayed Jokic first time in the series, and rest of the Clippers.
I do like Jamal Murray's game. I do. If he had been able, I don't know, is he injured? Is he still injured?
No,
Did
he
King score?
looks fine today. He looks fine today.
Come on, Jeff. I'm trying to watch the game later. Why do you keep telling me this? I'm just kidding.
Golden Knights just won. They're up 3-2 in their series.
Oh my God! Yeah, there's no substance to Zubac's 2010 games. G.
I'm
not saying I wish we didn't still have them, but it doesn't mean
well, you
anything.
look at the talent, man. You look at all the talent that we let go. Not kind of what we talking about the other day. My God, we talked about Zubac, Caruso, Scottie Pippen Jr., who scored 30 on OKC. If you want to back up center, Jay Huff, Thomas Bryant, as far as at least those two guys. I know the Thomas Bryant experiment didn't work out the first time around, but he's just another body. And then if you want to go into the other guys that are available, that the Lakers had, if you want to go into the Kuzmas, that type of, if you want to go, as far as not doing the Westbrook trade, man.
Hold on. Zubac sucks.
Oh, so you don't like a center that gets you 17 and 13? Crazy.
He got injured and still played through it and dropped 43. He actually was coached by Kobe. Not even joking, Joe. I know that.
It's your Lakers doomer there for you.
There's the prediction is still alive for me. I picked Denver to get to the finals to play the Celtics, and if they have that confidence to beat the Clippers, I wonder how they're going to play against Oklahoma.
JSJ, he is not. I already indicated that, JSJ. So please do not have me go off on you.
That's not something you should go off on, Gerald. Come on.
Well, no. I'm just telling him, do not have me go off on him like the way you went off on Doomer.
Yeah, but Doomer said things that weren't true.
Well, that's not true either. Zubac is not my favorite player. Now, he's one.
But you talk about him more than anybody else.
He's not because it's the stupidest trade. one of the second dumbest trade in Lakers history.
All right, I'm not going to be a hypocrite here and tell you not to go off. So do what you want to do.
That's again, we just assigned Rob to an extension. So, you got feast or famine. That's the thing with Rob. Feast or famine, Joe. It's feast or famine with Rob. Dumbest move or the smartest move. It's just no in between.
He's going to have to continue. They're going to have to make that decision with LeBron. They're going to have to make it this summer. It's going to be very important because it's not working, man. It's not working. It hasn't worked with all the pieces that have changed, have stayed the same. It doesn't matter. We're these Reeves being traded and all this stuff. It's you guys keep thinking that the door handle and the trunk lock are the ones that you need to change on a truck or a car that's still not worth a damn. Or at least needs to be what it needs to be. You're not going to haul. So here, I'll give you a good example. You're not going to haul heavy trailers with very, very heavy material on it in a Tacoma that's 12 years old. Now, that's an example that I'm literally using that happened to me. I was hauling turf with my Tacoma for a good amount of years. And the transmission finally said, dude, this is not for 4,000 or 5,000 pounds all, year in and year out. Transmission is going to go out. And it did, which then it forced me to go buy another truck. And then if you want to keep the Tacoma, which I did, I use it for work still, but it becomes a secondary vehicle. LeBron isn't ever going to be a secondary vehicle. Therefore, if my truck said to me, no, I'm not going to just be a drive, the piece you drive. Sorry, but I got to sell. I got to sell you then, right? I mean, that's the only analogy I can use that this late at night at this point. So there has to be a decision there. There's no other way. This team is already young minus LeBron. DFS, I think, is 31. I think he's like the next oldest one that's a regular player because is Markieff still on the team or did he get cut?
No, Markieff's on the team.
Yeah. So that's it. This decision has to be made. And I implore the Laker brass to make this decision this summer, try to recoup, see if they can go make one more run with LeBron. But he has to go after 2026. Let's see here. I don't see any magic we can happen without enticing LeBron to opt out, then lowball him. It's the only way we can build a contender. See, here's the thing, though. This summer is not very heavy in talent.
You got to trade for it.
Yeah, you got to trade for it. No one's going to trade anybody for LeBron James. And the Lakers don't have a lot of assets. They have.
You can't trade him anyways.
Yeah. Let's say if he had agreed to be traded, even if he agreed, hey, trade me somewhere. Who's gonna get LeBron thinking that they're a LeBron away from maybe winning a title? I don't know anybody that would be doing that, and I don't think LeBron is going to want to go to Detroit. He's not going to want to go to New York. I just don't see it. LeBron needs to play his last season next year. The Lakers have that control. He's only signed through 2026. That is in their control right now. They can't trade him. They can't force him to opt out this summer. But what they can say is, you do what you need to do, LeBron, but 2026 is the last year that we're going to commit to you, barring one unique result. That is, if you win the championship next year, then we'd reconsider signing another one-year contract. I'm going to say that until the offseason starts, which could be by this time tomorrow. Let's see. Westbrook scored. Hold on a second here, G.
JY has a good question.
That's a good one. That's good. That's good, Joker. I like how you use that in there. Go ahead, G. What'd you say?
No, JY has a good question for you coming up.
So JY, LeBron coming back next year, does his expectations change on winning a championship? Before that wasn't possible. We're probably in the same issue. We probably have the same issues with him going another year, but we have no choice. What the Lakers can control is making sure next year is the last year. We might have to wait another year for this to go because LeBron cannot close games. He cannot close games, and he's had. It's been a problem his entire Laker career, and he's had a problem with that even in Cleveland and Miami. He's won, sure, but in the end, Gerald, what do you think? One title in 11 years in Cleveland?
He's not a clutch player.
He's just not a clutch player, guys, and that's okay. That's okay. He's still a great player. He's still an all-time great. Still a top 5 player in terms of all-time players. I'll give him that. But he's just not a clutch player, man. This is what I keep telling you guys. And you guys think I'm hating. I think he's amazing. He's an amazing player, one of the best I've ever seen. But the guy can't close. And I'm sorry, that has to matter in the end, especially when you're comparing him to other multi-MVPs, multi-finals MVPs, whatever. Bird, clutch. Magic, clutch. Kareem, clutch. Kobe, clutch. Would you consider Tim Duncan clutch?
Yeah, I would. He has produced late in games. Again, he is not the sexiest player in the world. That's why I think he doesn't get the due justice he's due. I'm not a huge fan of his just because his game was not stylized or sexy, but the stats are there. The stats back him up, and I do believe he at the right time did provide Spurs, especially in that the first few runs, a lot of clutch play when they needed. And he even as his career started to wind down, he found himself useful to the team's winning and success in a myriad of ways outside of just being able to go ahead and get what he could get for you on the floor. Oh, you were referring to OKC. Huh?
Sorry, I was on mute there. JY, yes, it is a young man's game.
Oh,
it is.
But then again, Curry is 37.
Yeah, but
Curry's 37.
Championships are won with veterans. You got to have seasoned veterans. Young teams don't normally win titles. Really young teams.
With Houston right now. Houston, when they rely on their young guys in their sets, they're not executing when they needed to.
And
when they go back to Van Vliet and Van Vliet, yeah, it's a lot better, more effective.
And explaining the Duncan is he clutch question. It's not so much that he's clutch or not clutch. It's he was fundamentally sound in those moments when it was. And losing to Kobe and Shaq at their peak is admirable. I mean, the Spurs had issues with Kobe. It didn't matter if Shaq was on the team, if it was Kobe's team. When Kobe was on, Kobe was a very difficult player to deal with the Spurs. The Spurs worried about Kobe more than they worried about Shaq. That includes in 01, that included in 02, included in 08. There was always that issue. My fear with Braun is his gas tank gets smaller every year. That is true, Alan. It is. And that's the point.
Father time.
That's the point. And this stat padding, if there's ever a stat padder in sports, it's been LeBron James. He's been the greatest stat padder ever because people get mesmerized, but he can control the points being scored and the rebounds going up and the assists going up. And with all due respect to John Costa, that shit don't matter, dude. I'm sorry. Doesn't matter in the team aspect of winning. It plays a part, but again, let's say it again. It doesn't matter if you're going 27 like Zubac tonight. You got your ass beat by 20. LeBron, you can have your 30, 15, and 9 all you want, but if you can't close the door and win, those stats mean nothing. That's a fact that a lot of you people need to understand. And LeBron has failed more than he's been successful at the end of very, very, very big games. And that is a fact. That is not a fantasy. That is not nitpicking. LeBron should not be sitting with 4 championships in 22 seasons. He should be at least sitting at 6. And a lot of that is because he doesn't do the things that matter in the end very, very well. Thanks, Mark. It's important. It's important to try to explain the details of that too. But at the same time, do we really need to detail it? Isn't it visual enough, Gerald? I mean, we've been watching,
audience, especially on the LFB. Sometimes they don't get it. They'll see things in a totally different light. That's not actually what reality is.
I mean, we're talking 7 seasons. This isn't us watching maybe 10, 12 LeBron games when he was in Miami a year or when he was in Cleveland. We've seen him game in, game out. We've missed maybe a handful of games since we've had Lakers fast break together. So we're talking about 5 seasons of watching probably all 82 plus playoffs, plus summer league, plus preseason. Maybe I've missed 10 games in that span. But and even those missed games, it was like half and half of something here and there. It wasn't probably all the way out. Actually, I missed 1 game on purpose. I was boycotting that game. And we've seen it. We've seen it. He's only made what two baskets in the last 7 seasons in the clutch. 10 seconds or lower. That I think that was the stat. It's got to change, man. I preach playoff stats. What you say versus Kobe. I'm sorry, Joker. What was that question? I'm not understanding it. I preach playoff stats. What you say versus Kobe. Are you understanding what he's saying there, Gerald?
No, not really. I was hoping you could enlighten me on that.
Joker, can you rewrite that for me?
Scroll up, he says.
Okay, hold on. Oh, there we go. Okay. Final 340 to tie or take the lead. LeBron. Were you talking this while you were doing whatever? Final 3. Where did these stats come from? So was Kobe not clutch? You tell me, Joe.
I think he was. That's just me.
So why is Kobe clutch? And the stats that you're sending us say that LeBron made more. I don't know what 340 seconds means. What does that mean? Last 5.5 minutes. Final stats here. Hold on. Final stats. Final stats. Final 30 seconds in 14 of 45. So these are just the finals. These are the stats in the finals. Just clutch shots in the finals, right? Is that what he's saying, Joe? Playoffs.
I guess so.
Okay.
I'm looking as far as in the stats, as far as ratings. It has Kobe, and Kobe and LeBron are usually right there next to each other.
So explain to me then. I want to know, why is Kobe clutch and LeBron isn't?
Or why is LeBron clutch and Kobe isn't?
Right.
That's what I'm here.
I want to understand why. Are you basing it just so? Why is this a narrative that just everybody just wanted to make up? No one hated Kobe more than the media. Why would they want to give him the clutch moniker then if he wasn't clutch? We mentioned the Joe Johnson clutch thing a few days ago. He's made 9 buzzer beaters. Would you take Joe Johnson over Larry Bird or Magic or Kareem or Jordan or Kobe? Is it easier, Joker, to hit clutch shots against a 37-win team in the playoffs in the East for, 7-8 years that he was going to the finals? Or is it easier to hit clutch shots against the really good teams that Kobe played against, like Denver, San Antonio?
Well, let's
No. I'm being.
Well, let me phrase it like this. Let's phrase it like this: is LeBron James been a great clutch player?
No, he hasn't. No, and I want to really make you understand something here, Joker. Competition matters. Hitting clutch shots against teams that are inferior, way inferior, which is a big story in that LeBron era to me. LeBron doesn't go to 8 finals in a row in the West. The East was dog shit for a long time, worse during his heyday. So are you factoring in the competition? Because Kobe has a stat that's very relevant. He has more wins. He has more wins against 50-win teams in the playoffs than anyone in NBA history. That's a stat that you should factor into your clutch thing and competition.
I'm just asking if has he been a clutch player for the Lakers? That's what I'm
No.
asking.
LeBron has not been a clutch player for the Lakers, not even a little bit.
The Indiana shot earlier this
Okay.
season.
Okay. What? That's one, and then he had another one. What? 4 years ago? He's not.
Not too
He
many.
can't even inbound the ball, and that's not the first time he's done it. His brain seems to get lazy in moments like that more than not. It's just what it is. So competition matters too in this discussion of clutch. Who's the MVP in 2010? I saw Kobe hit 7 game winners. 4 of them were buzzer beaters. If he doesn't win, if the Lakers don't win those games, they go from 1 to 7. 1 to 7. Look at the wins. They won 57 that year. If they don't win those 7 games, they're down to 8 actually. But I think they would have won the tiebreaker if they had tied Oklahoma City that year. Don't quote me on that. I think it's a think. So you tell me, Gerald, what's more of an MVP in my book? Because everybody keeps changing and moving the goalpost. Well, Joe, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is got his best team in the West. He should win MVP. Why? Jokic. It's not like Jokic is a 9th seed or a 10th seed. This team is a 4 seed, and he has the craziest stat probably in the history of basketball: a triple double with almost 30 points. As soon as you say, "Oh, Kobe, LeBron won it easy in 2010," I go, "How?" Kobe won a championship on one leg and a broken shooting finger, beating 4 50-win teams, and that same season hit 7 last-second shots, 4 buzzer beaters to allow them to have a 1 seed in that year. How is that not more valuable than what LeBron did in the East in 2010? It doesn't. It's a stupid. It's a stupid discussion in a lot of ways. But I don't know. Am I being inconsiderate here? Am I going back and playing the old man line again?
Or are you like Shawshank Redemption? Are you being?
I was going to use that, but I thought it was excessive since I've
You
used
had
it a
me
little
thinking
bit.
that. You had me
I
thinking
almost
that.
said it. You're right. I did. I almost said it. But I want you guys to understand something. You guys are here to learn something too, besides listen to me yap. I want you guys to learn something. I want you to learn the details a little bit if you're not thinking about the details. I'm not trying to talk down on you. I'm not patronizing you. But that's the experiment now. I speak the way I speak.
Only if Doomer was still here, would you be talking down to him?
Well, Doomer seemed to be a good character today. He didn't buzz in.
Gotta give him his props for that.
And we are a forgiving show, both shows. We're not going off for no reason. So at least you respected that. The key here is competition matters, folks. Competition matters. You're not factoring in competition in these numbers sometimes. It's just like with analytics and baseball and why the A's weren't able to win championships even though they were great during the regular season. They couldn't sniff the World Series because when it mattered most, competition can't be calculated. In the playoffs especially. You can't measure that. You can in numbers, but you can't measure it in the moment. I don't think there's a statistic that says, hey, this person is going to hit a 3-run homer because of whatever. At least not that I know of. That's important to understand here, Joker. Thank you for bringing that up, though. I'm glad you brought up the stat, but you also have to factor into that formula who was he playing against? Because the Lakers played a team in the first round that was better than any team that Cleveland played in the playoffs when they were going to the finals. At least that first year. It's debatable, I guess. I calculate loss in the series, though I get a brownie point. Joker, you're not in trouble here, man. I'm not your dad.
Give him a brownie point, Joe. Give him a brownie point.
And by the way, you're not the first
Joker,
one.
you're the best,
You're
man.
not,
You're the best. You're the best.
Joker, you're not the first one I've had this discussion with. Someone else brought up the percentages of that piece of shit scumbag dick face. Nick Wright always uses that. Don't do what Nick Wright does. That guy's a fucking jizz stain. He's a piece of shit. Don't do that. Don't competition, man. You got to factor in the competition. Kobe won two championships on two different eras of basketball, beating all 4 50-win teams in a playoff run. That is important to put into the numbers.
I would love to see this channel or the LFB get to the point where when you call out Nick Wright or somebody like that and you say is piece of blah 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 and all that.
I can't stand that piece of shit.
I'd love to see them call you out and say, "Yeah, I'll meet you in the parking lot," and you'd be like, "Okay, what time?"
Yeah, I mean, I don't. It's a tough guy routine.
I'm 6'3", 300. Hello.
It's a tough guy routine that I wish I don't have to deal with, but it is what it is. It's not like I haven't done it before. I just haven't done it in a while. Joe, I'm gonna have to leave. Joe, I'm upset at the way you talked. I actually thought you were gonna leave. I thought you were going to leave because you had to leave and go do something. Yeah, he is. I hope he chokes on it. Daddy Soro, can you read me a bedtime story? I know where you're going with that, Mark. Hold on. There's more coming. Uncle Gerald, you excited about the Lakers game tomorrow?
You guys are cold, man.
You guys are channeling. Dude, even I feel bad at this point now. You guys are relentless. Everybody outside the group is like, what the hell are these guys talking about? I still get asked
about, is Danny okay? Is Danny okay? Like I'm his keeper or something. I haven't heard an email from him in weeks since that happened, since Joe and him had that thing. So
I didn't have anything with him. I just said, stop filming your stomach.
Well, you used a lot of expletives, so
that's how I roll. Stop showing. This is not a. I am not a sensitive person by any means, but I am very, very, very cautious of nasty stuff on our shows. This isn't a peep show. If you're into that kind of stuff, even if your intention is innocent, you don't know. Okay? We don't have time to be moving cameras up and down your schlong and your stomach and have a fucking weird look on your face while you're doing it. I don't put up with that shit. I hate that shit. Okay? I'm not gonna deal with it. I don't want to be around it. I don't like it. Joker, I have friends and other people that are LeBron fans that I've had discussions with about that. No one public yet. I think this is the most public I've been on that particular stat. So again, that's why I was thanking you for bringing it up because I'd never been able to explain it. I would play a lot of.
I could reach out to Danny if you guys ever want him to come back, and I'll just leave it.
No, I don't want him back.
I'm not going to. So.
Yeah, I don't want him back. I feel bad a little bit because of his situation, but I'm also not a health. I'm not a life coach here. This isn't a daycare. This isn't a kindergarten. Okay, it's a grown ass men. You can have feelings.
I'll leave it up to you guys.
Yeah, you can have feelings and you can be insulted and do all those things, but in the end, how I react to it is I let you be, and then let you calm down, and then just do what you need to do. Come back. We had some good stuff with Sean for a while there, but I finally was able to figure out Sean to where he hasn't been leaving, and I believe a lot of that has to do with the fact that Sean needs to lay it out sometimes randomly, and I'm his springboard, and I'm happy to do that for him to allow him to get the jitters out because he needs to sometimes, and I'll continue to do that until the end of time. Let's see here. I'm not. I don't think knocking physically. When I speak aggressively, I don't mean physicality. Physicality has to be the last resort. Physicality has to be the last resort, at least for me, to the point where there's nothing else that's going to solve the problem. Now, as far as he is concerned, it would be more just going off one-on-one and his bullshit, which would be fun. I really would love to do that. Oh, boy. Dalton Connect is not going to see the light of day this year.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. I was going to say either Maxi Kleber or Dalton Connect gets out on the floor first.
There would be a better chance of Connect going out because Kleber's not going to be able to move. Yeah, that's probably true, Jay. Doesn't like LeBron. He also says, wait, Jay doesn't like LeBron. He only says it because he makes money off of it. Fuck him. Yes, that is true, Jay. That is true, at least for me. Or if they all wanted to bring him back, I'm not going to be on the show. I'm talking about the playback. Joe's saying he is not sensitive is like saying I work out. No shit. Well, it was. I meant it in the context of the discussion. I know you guys know that. It was part of the sentence building. Never mind. You're right. I shouldn't have said it. You all know it. What the fuck we talking about? Camera D shot panning. Yeah, Joker. So I'm gonna say this real quick. He kept showing his. I know he was showing his jersey, but it was like the 10th time he was doing it, and I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't do it.
Joe did a Joe. And he ran off because he was very upset about it.
But come on, how long did we wait for this?
Well,
story of my life. Why do I have to be the guy to say it?
I was willing to let him go one time, and you told me.
And you know it looks like I'm bullying the kid, right? That's what it looks like. Anybody in my position, you know why I didn't get in a lot of fights, Gerald? I'll tell you why. Number one, I can't stand fighting because something always breaks. You never know what could happen. And it's an immature thing anyway. So if you're not getting paid to fight, you're a fucking idiot. Fighting is, what did Mr. Miyagi say? Karate for defense only. I believe in that philosophy, except I don't know karate. But a lot of the reasons why I never fought is because most of the people that I gotten pissed at are all 5'9" and $190. Doesn't look right me going and fighting these people, even if I want to. And yes, there are some out there that are trained mixed martial artists that could probably whoop my ass, but those are few and far between. Point is, I'm not here to fight physical. I have a little bit of a infliction that's high volume, but that's just my personality. It's how I work. Let's see. Sean has an O. There's a lot of reasons why Sean sometimes is not here, and it's not his fault a lot of times too. Kind of seems like they're hiding Dalton. Joker, are you typing with your left hand and only your left hand? Like, what's going on over there? Or are you just verbally saying this? Kind of seems like they're hiding gold to keep the tape off him so they can move him in the offseason. Well, dude, if that's the case, then they should have traded him for Mark Williams. Don't worry, it doesn't matter anymore. I sleep at night just fine, SB. You know the truth. You are a Pacer fan, by the way, so you'll never truly be a part of that. Hey, that Dulcine picture. I was dead, by the way, today. Dead. Like, dying laughing. I was trying to reply to it, but it wouldn't work. I don't know what the hell was wrong with the app. That was funny. Yeah, where's Cool Bro, by the way? He was all right at the end.
I talked to him last week because he was excited because his favorite movie of all time, Star Wars Episode 3. You know, it was
Oh,
in
really?
theaters
He likes
last
Revenge of the
weekend.
Sith, huh?
That's his. Yeah,
Huh.
we went back and forth on it because I'm allergic to the prequels, and
Come
yeah,
on,
he was
Gerald.
telling me
You're telling me you don't like 3 a
I
little bit?
hate
Really?
3. The only good part of 3 is the 2-3 minutes that Ian McDermott is talking about. They're right there, him and Hayden Christensen in the box, and he was talking about the tale of Dark Plagueis. That is the only good part of the movie. Otherwise, it's Hayden Christensen bitching and moaning the entire way, and he is terrible in all the prequels, in both the movies prequels, but all 3 of them are just you can have them. You can have them. I'll take 4, 5, and 6 any day. Any day of the week. Any day.
Wasn't Luke whiny too in the originals though? He was whiny.
He is a little whiny, absolutely. But he doesn't go off for 5 minutes on sand. It's coarse and it's rough and it gets into your fingers and toes and blah blah blah. You know, my God. That is not it's a Star Wars movie. I don't care how you feel about sand.
George must have just said, "Screw it! I'm just going to put this in here."
But no, he saw it, and he said it was one of the greatest experiences of his life. So I was happy for him.
Good for him.
I wished
Good
him
for
well.
him.
Yeah,
I don't mind the prequels.
He's a high school kid, just living his high school life. That's what I want for him. I don't want him hanging around us, to be honest with you. I need him to be a high school kid and enjoy high school and savor that moment because he's going to regret it. Like, oh, what did you do during high school? Oh, I spent it with 40 and 50-year-old guys talking about the Lakers who I don't even watch the games. So it's like,
hold on a second.
I'm talking about my AI girlfriend.
Polling rate and max sensitivity with triggers. So if I barely touch a key, it presses, and then when I release it, presses again, twice as productive this way.
That was hilarious, though, when Cool Bro was talking. Remember when he was on playback talking about his AI girlfriend? Oh, that was just so.
That wasn't good. Actually, I actually got creeped out by that, and I don't get creeped out.
That was hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. He had a name for it and everything. That was just hilarious.
By the way, Cool Bro, that is a good question. Thanks, Alan, for asking. Why did you become a Pacers fan again? I think you might have told me this, but I can't remember. Alan, I'm Austrian. Wait. You're Austrian now? Sports baby. I tell you, I'm embarrassed about the Knicks stars entertainment fans showing out when all we got was chili pepper. Yeah, the celebrities in LA have been bonk. Who are the new celebs? They showed what's his name? Who's the guy from Forgetting Sarah Marshall? I always forget his name.
Oh, the one who just got last week in trouble.
What did he get in trouble for? Showing his ass in public?
It's rape. I think he's been sued for sued. Oh no, Jason. Oh, he's on the Shrinking. He's on Shrinking on Apple TV Plus.
Yeah. I mean, with all due respect,
I was talking about Russell Brand. I was talking about Russell Brand.
Oh, do you think you think that was kind of,
he's got multiple
framed?
Lawsuits at it. No,
as soon as he started talking all that secret stuff going on behind the scenes, all of a sudden now he's a raper.
He said he had multiple addictions, including drugs, alcohol, sex.
No,
during that period of time. Yeah, he said that. He said that. Yeah.
No.
So, not a stretch by any stretch.
I don't believe it. I can't believe you said that.
Yeah.
Who isn't addicted to drugs in that damn town? Austrian. I'm an American, so it makes no sense. I couldn't pick it up on a map. It's by Germany and Poland. Alan, with an I. That sounds fucked up, Gerald. Spend my time with 40 and 50-year-old guys. We're all going to jail with P. Diddy. Everything is always about something like that, isn't it? It's always something like that. That's why you got to stay away from these weirdos online that are showing things and doing things, saying AI girlfriends and shit like that. That's how it starts. That's how it starts, guys. Peep shows on sports communities, and then all of a sudden it's, oh, by the way, did you hear about so and so? No. Well, they found him in some motel acting like a rabbit. Right. 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 Yeah. Anyways, I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of excited about tomorrow's game. Are you excited?
I am. I think the Lakers, they'll come back.
I'm excited for
They'll make a statement.
I'm excited for two things. They can win the game, and that would be nice. But I'm also excited to kind of just be able to now finally get out of this kind of the beginnings of getting out of what they've been in for a while, so that they can focus on really, really, really making this what it's supposed to be. That's I don't know. I'm usually my feelings on games like this are usually not off. I don't feel like they're gonna lose 100%, but I'm not gonna be shocked in any way if they get blown out or lose. I just don't. I don't know. I don't see anything. I'm indifferent. That's the word again. I've been using that a lot lately. I'm indifferent at this point whether they win or lose. But the excitement of being able to conclude, and now the Lakers can start really focusing on doing the work. Now let's get ready for, I guess, the second round pick that they're going to have, but also get ready for free agency and being able to start putting the pieces together for this next decade, right? I don't see how Luka's not going to be a great player for the next 10 years. I just don't see it.
But you still see, even today, in our earlier Lakers fast break, Joe, that still some people just cannot get over it. They just can't get over the fact that Luka's on this roster, and it is the better thing for the organization going forward. And they just don't see it, Joe. They just don't see it, and they're going to go kicking and screaming. Doobie,
so look at it.
Rodell, Nick T. It just shows. It doesn't matter. Again, I don't even think Luka can win a championship for them, and it will change their minds. I don't even. It's at that point where I don't think it'll change their minds.
It's because they've been fed continuously in sports media of the negative on why Luka has been traded, and when they see the results of what's been going on, it triggers that. Oh well, maybe Nico was right, and that's probably what it is. Totally not understanding that you just traded a player that's probably a year away from being out of his prime. AD will likely be out of his prime next year. And then you replace them with someone who's just about to get into his prime squared era. And this team hasn't been formed to fit his skill set. Once they do that, the Lakers have shown in their history that they can. Then there's a whole different conversation there. And we'll leave it at that for now. And we'll get a chance to talk more about it tomorrow. But in the meantime, I want to thank everyone for being here on the experiment. Gerald, thanks for being the guest on the show. You're always welcome.
My friend. I couldn't get on the other day, and I apologize, but I wanted to make it up for
you.
you.
It's okay. This is, I'm fairly aware that, most of the time I'm going to be doing this alone. And it's important that I do, because I got to build the production value as I go here. At some point, there will be an increase in production value, and that I'm looking forward to that. In the meantime,
is Jeff still here in the chat?
No, he's. I think he's probably getting ready to go to bed or something. I don't know. I'll have to text him.
Oh, okay, because I wanted to. I haven't sent a formal apology yet. I mean, somebody banned him on our channel.
I don't think he knows.
That irks me.
I don't think he knows.
Yeah.
I don't think he knows. So you can no. Well, now everybody knows, so they can probably tell him. But I'll hit him up. I'll let him know that he was accidentally banned. But I'll
everyone except for one individual I have yet to track down and ask if he did.
I'm sure it was an accident. But we'll be on the Lakers fast break tomorrow. I'll be on the Lakers fast break tomorrow, obviously, and we'll be able to hopefully dissect a win. If not, We'll be dissecting the end of the year for the LA Lakers. And whether I'll be following up after that will be figured out probably later tomorrow, probably afternoon or maybe late evening. And again, I gotta say, man, that we had some great conversation tonight with the boys. So I'm happy that I'm usually hot and cold. It's like I get cooler here, but I'm hot on LFB. I don't know what it is about LFB, but the sensors there just go off a little bit hotter over
I
there
think
than
it's the
they do here.
comments. I think it's that you get more idiots on that. More individuals stating wrong and just truly ludicrous positions on the channel. It's a larger channel, so you're obviously going to get more opinions.
Sure.
Some are good, some are not so good. And I think those not so good stick out to you, Joe, especially when they try to call you out. Like even earlier today, there were a couple calling you out, worst take ever, blah 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 blah, and all that stuff, and just like I'm surprised you didn't go off on them like you went on Doomer the other day.
Well, I think what pissed me off about Doomer was the consistency of his lying. I think we waited long enough. At some point, I got tired of it.
I did move up for you, Joe, at midnight. It will be released to the entire world. It's a members only right now, short, but it will be at midnight. Be released to the public.
So I haven't been able to look at it either. So I have to wait till midnight.
Yeah, till midnight. So
okay,
sorry.
That's
but
okay.
I am also, for members, just want to give you a heads up. I'm putting up there. Chris Ardier and I just had a conversation on who we think were the winners and losers of the NFL draft, and also we talk a lot about Shedeur Sanders too, his free fall and all that. So,
what do you say about Sanders?
We both think he's a better player than a fifth rounder, but his attitude, the pre-draft workouts, that holds a lot of weight. And we've seen before where you think that during course of drafts, NFL as a collective maybe loosely colluded against drafting him. Because at some point you got to say to yourself, this guy is not a fourth or fifth round talent, but yet is being bypassed by all these teams for a reason. Like they're almost talking to each other like that happened. And I think both of us agreed that there was some type of collusion on that because of whatever happened, extenuating from the draft workouts, the overconfidence on his part. But I also think that going to a team that just drafted a quarterback 2 rounds before was an absolutely dumb move by the Browns as well. I don't get it what they're doing. And they traded their picks away. They made a good trade for the number 2 pick. They traded away their number 2 pick to get a lot of recoup for next year. And next year is going to have a lot of good quarterbacks. So if they're intending to do that to get a quarterback next year, why in the hell are they getting 2 quarterbacks this year? That made me scratch my head a little bit.
Couldn't have gone to a worse team.
Yeah.
Maybe the Jets. So. Maybe the Jets would have been a worse team, or even. And I always say the Jets and the Browns are the same. They're the same organization in terms of how they're run, except New York is always better than Cleveland. That's it. It's the city that separates them by a hair. He could not have gone to a worse place. There's no. And the old man tag got thrown on me from some of my cousins about Sanders a few years back. I had actually complimented Dion the last year and how he handled his coaching this year. I felt like he was more focused on.
He put them back
game.
on the map, Joe.
Yeah,
he got them. Or a bowl winner. They're 10 games winner.
But just like LeBron's end of the game antics, he can have an amazing block, an amazing steal, and then piss it away with a bad inbounds pass at the same time. Dion does good things, and then he opens his trap. He was on a daytime talk show. I didn't recognize which one it was. They have so many now.
He's on Tubi. I think he does Tubi as well, his own weekly show.
The fact that he's like, I'm going to be involved with my son's thing. He goes, I ran this league, or this is my league. I dominated this league. I'm like, dude, this has nothing to do with you, dude. You're a pissant with the 32 owners. They don't give 2 shits about what you think. and neither do the coaches. You put your son in this position. This is Deion Sanders' fault. You have them retire his number, and they went, what, 4-8? Didn't win shit while he was there. Why would you retire his number? Oh, and Cordell Stewart won 2 bowl games and has one of the most iconic end of the game Hail Marys in football history, let alone NCAA history. He doesn't have his jersey up there. So we talk about entitlement. And then, of course, what happens? As soon as something doesn't go right for Mr. Sanders and Shadeur, oh, here comes the race card. Now it's the race card? Really? They're not drafting him because he's black? I heard that and I started laughing. I really did. That was the funniest part. I would have, if I was an owner, I would never collude with anybody on this, by the way. I'm just saying, if I was an owner, I would come out in public and say, when I heard that, that was it. I don't care how good you are. You are the kind of person, when things go south, you're the one that's going to get on the boat before the women and children. I can't trust you for that. And it looks like the owners agreed, and management agreed. And then what was worse? What is worse than dropping the 5th? Not only did you drop the 5th, you're going to Cleveland, where all quarterbacks go to freaking die before they even start. And then they draft Gabriel before him, whom I'm not a big fan of either.
Yeah, that one it made my head scratch as a 3rd rounder too.
Yeah, they're just throwing shit on the wall, seeing which one will stick, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now you get Kenny Pickett in there, and then you got Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco's supposed to be the cagey vet, right? And by the way, you still have Deshaun Watson. Now what? Somebody's going to have to go. Watson, you're not going to let him go because he's got too much money tied to it, even though there was a restructuring, right? Flacco, I guess you can dump him. Kenny Pickett, Gabriel, Sanders. So you have five quarterbacks. Most teams don't want to keep 3 quarterbacks anyways. So who are the 2 that are going to stay? They're going to go with Gabriel and Sanders? Oh, they can't, by the way, because Watson's still there. So which one of those 4 are going to make it? Or are they that stupid to go with 3? That's what I'm thinking, JY. That's what I'm thinking. Is there a chance he gets cut? What if he sucks in training camp? Which is funny because he's going to be a rookie quarterback. What if he does? Oh, he's a better talent than what was his name? Dart. He got picked in the 1st round, but he dropped because they colluded or because he's whatever. Did you see how he was celebrating after he got drafted by Cleveland? Did you see how fake that looked? Probably. That's a good comparison there, Jay. Right now, he looks like Bronny James. Talent trumps everything. If you're not talented enough to matter, then it is what it is. Playing quarterback in the NFL is not about doing the shuffle while getting drafted by Cleveland. You should have turned your camera off at that point. I would have turned my camera off going to Cleveland in the 5th round. If it was the 1st or 2nd round, that'd be one thing. That's funny. Probably not. Would he really? You think Tom would have done that? Anyways, I'm going to call it a night, folks. Gerald, thank you for being on tonight. Guys, you guys were awesome tonight, by the way. Chat room was awesome. Please keep doing this. Again, even if I'm wrong on things, I'm going to tell you I'm wrong. You know how I roll here. Joker, I don't know if anybody knows what Rodgers is doing. I don't even think Rodgers knows what he's doing. And it doesn't really matter whether he comes or not.
Doesn't he go into meditation things and all that?
Yeah, I just
Maybe
wish I just want everyone the Laker Nation. I'm sorry, Steeler Nation. Even though that should be just a word for the Raiders, but Steeler fan base, the Steeler fandom, please, can you not call Will Howard the next Ben Roethlisberger? Please, don't do that. Ben Roethlisberger was a first round pick, picked 11th, and is going to be a Hall of Famer. Will Howard is a quarterback that got picked in the 6th round. That usually doesn't turn into Tom Brady. That's a one in a I don't even know what that is. So let the guy do his thing. I think what's going to likely happen here, if I had to take a guess right this minute, I think Rodgers is probably going to retire, and then Mason Rudolph is going to start the season. And if for some weird way, if Will Howard is a surprise quarterback asset and Mason is struggling in week 9 or week 10 and Will Howard has improved in that time, then maybe we might see something there. But I'm hoping, and that's all I can do is hope, right? Which doesn't mean much. But the other hard thing about the Will Howard selection is he's an Ohio State quarterback. Ohio State quarterbacks are usually not good in the NFL. C.J. Stroud, yeah, he's been showing some things here, but I think people tend to, again, after 1 year, they're like annoy people too much. C.J. Stroud, would you say had a sophomore slump a little bit from his rookie year?
A little bit of regression.
A little bit, right? Just a little bit, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, and that is not out of the norm, by the way, G. That happens a lot. I think Vince Young had it, although he didn't have a bad second year, but he started to get worse 3rd and 4th year because what a lot of these guys who come into the league realize is once they see you after a year or so, they're going to start adapting and they're going to start figuring you out. So you have to continue to adapt. You got to be like that virus where it changes when there's a foreign object coming to them, which is something that's going to destroy them. So that's what you have to do as a quarterback. You have to continue to change so that whatever's coming at you that's been prepared to get you is now like, wait, what happened? Where'd it go? I didn't expect this. So it's an ongoing thing. But I want to wish everyone a good morning, a good afternoon, and good night for those of you around the world. And yes, there are a lot around the world, all the way from the Philippines to Australia to the East Coast to the Midwest to the Mountain Standard Time and even here, the Pacific Standard Time. And on our next show, I will post what it will be, likely something Laker related, and I will add some Dodger talk in there. And as the summer kind of begins and the training camp starts, you'll start hearing a little bit more football as well. So until next time, we'll see you next time.